When it comes to panties, I'm packing like 3 to 4 extra pairs of that because you just never know what's gonna happen. Oh, hi. I'm weird. Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel, Apparently Ashley. You already know what we're talking about today. It's Married at First Sight, season 13, episode 4. This week's episode was focused on the couples spending their first night together as husband and wife. Then they met with each other's family, friends, loved ones at brunch. And then we found out that they are going to Florida for their honeymoon. When it comes to their first night, it was basically the same scene repeated like 5 different times. And so not much really happened with that. They were basically talking about, oh, what was your favorite part of the night? And are you excited? How do you feel? And then the wife struggling to get out of the dress. Oh, can you unbutton me? Can you unzip me? And then them figuring out like, oh, are we gonna have sex? Or are we just gonna kiss? Or are we just gonna go to sleep? What's happening? So that was all that for that. That was a recap. We're gonna just start with like the brunches and then like packing for the honeymoon and all that kind of stuff. Before we get started, you already know what I'm about to ask you. Are you subscribed? If not, go ahead and hit that button below. And while you're down there, give me a thumbs up. Let's go ahead and get started with Michaela and Zack. So Michaela was meeting with Zack's mom, his dad, his 2 brothers, and his aunt. And Zack's dad had asked her, like, how do you handle conflict? And she had brought up her parents and saying that like they didn't really handle conflict that well. And she got really emotional because she was telling them that her dad died because he got hit by a drunk driver. They showed this cute clip of at the wedding when, so typically at weddings there's like a father-daughter dance, but her dad wasn't there. And so Zack's dad asked her to dance. And y'all, I got a little emotional because I was like, that was so sweet. Super cute moment. All the tears were happening. And then she was just saying that like she didn't really like how she saw them arguing, and so she tries to exhibit healthy arguing. Okay, girl. So she was like, she's not gonna do cussing or slamming doors or banging on stuff or whatnot, but clearly we've seen otherwise based on the clips. And she was just like, you know, if you can't handle a problem right then and there, then like it's best to just step away, like, sleep on it. And immediately my mind was like, whoop, I don't know. So I know studies do say that you should sleep on it, step away from an argument if you need to, like collect your thoughts. Like studies literally say that like it's your brain's like more functional in the morning or something like that. Clearly my science is off, but it's some type of fact like that. But that's not really how I operate. I'm the type of arguer who like, I want to talk about it all right now, right here. I don't want to bring this into another day. I don't want to sleep on this because now I'm mad today and now you're gonna make me mad tomorrow too because we got to finish this conversation. Like, no, like I don't know how to compartmentalize arguments. Is that unhealthy? I don't know. But that's how I argue. How do y'all argue? Let me know below. Do y'all sleep on it? Talk it all out? What y'all do? So all that happened. I just thought it was super ironic because, again, here's the clip of her acting crazy. She don't really practice healthy arguing, so we will see that in action this season. Zack met with her sisters. They just talked about how Michaela's used to being protected because she has 3 older sisters, and I hope Zack is this protector for her. That was basically what they were saying. And he was like, oh no, I'm super protective. I got her. And then they did the do. So yeah, they had sex their second night. So not the day of the wedding, like the next day. And so they're the first couple who have crossed the line, done the nasty, did that. Yay for them. And then we found out that Zack has COVID. Well, they didn't say it on this episode, but it was in the previews because it was super funny because he was like, oh yeah, I don't really get sick like that. Later on when they got to Florida, he was like, oh my gosh, I feel horrible. And I was like, you got COVID. They're gonna talk about that in the next episode and how he's basically not gonna get to enjoy this honeymoon because he's gonna have to stay away from Michaela. But then I was like, she probably got COVID too. All right, let's move on to Myrla and Gil. So the thing that we found out about Myrla is that Myrla does save. So she's not just like frivolously spending, like she's actually saving it and then she's spending it. Her friends and her brother sat down with Gil at brunch. Her brother made it a point to say Myrla doesn't really need a man, she just wants a man. Gil was like, all right, cool, I'm cool with that. But my mind went to like, well, first it went to that Jamie Foxx song, Independent Woman. Is that what it's called? With Neo? Yeah, it went to that song. But then the second thought was, is Gil really okay with not feeling needed? And I guess because like in my woman brain, I feel like a man wants to feel needed, like boost his ego and stuff like that. And I could be speaking from experience. So story time. I was dating this guy. He made it a point to tell me like, hey, like I want you to ask me for help for things, basically make me feel needed. Ask me to help you put your necklace on, or like to open this jar, or to reach something off the top shelf. And so I had to like be intentional, even though I can put this necklace on myself, like, hey, can you help me put it on for me? And that was like boosting his ego, I guess. I was just like, okay, this is how a man thinks. But then I get into my current relationship, we're having that conversation, and he was basically just like, no, like I don't need this like manufactured need from you. If you need me, you need me. Like if not, if you don't, then like, is there such a thing as like too independent from a man's point of view? What's the balance that like, oh, I want to feel needed by my woman to feed my ego? You know, fellas, I know there's like a small percentage of y'all that watch, or you're probably watching this with your girlfriend. You tell her to comment below on behalf of you. Do you want to feel needed? If so, how much needed do you want to feel? What is too independent? Let me know. So other than that conversation, Myrla and Gil talked about finances. Myrla said that money is the motive. Money does motivate her, but money doesn't motivate Gil. And then they talked about how she's high maintenance. She asked him, like, do you think I'm high maintenance? And he was like, yes. And she was just like, no. I'm just like, what's wrong with being high maintenance? Why does she think that this is such a negative thing to be? Like, maybe because when you're high maintenance, you come off as a diva? Like, I don't know, but like, I don't see nothing wrong with being high maintenance. Live your truth, girl. Live your truth. All right, let's move on to Rachel and Jose. Rachel met with Jose's parents. They were talking about how like he's super like structured and how he's really big on like his finances and stuff. She was saying like, okay, because like I'm a really big spender. Like I hope this isn't going to be an issue. No, I don't think she said she's a big spender. I think she said she's not a big saver. She's a big spender, because I do remember she also said like, sometimes I'm like YOLO, like, so she just be spending money or whatever. And she was like, well, hopefully he can like help me get my finances right or whatever. And I was like, relatable content, girl, because my boyfriend is in the finance world and he definitely helped me turn my whole money situation around. I don't know if y'all watched my other video where I was talking about advice to my younger self, but I had like 7 credit cards. He helped me to get on this savings plan goal type thing where like I paid off 6 of those cards. I have like multiple savings accounts and my credit score has shot up. So like all these things, he could definitely help her get on the right track, because now that they're married, their finances are going to affect each other. When Jose met with Rachel's mom and it was either her sister or her best friend, but he met with her people. They talked about how Rachel likes to make a lot of mental notes. And I was like, not this passive aggressive stuff. And whenever someone does something that makes her mad, she'll be like, okay, mental note. And I was like, what? No, we cannot operate like this. They said she just bottles up all of her feelings. And we talked about this in the first episode, that she does not communicate her emotions very well. Like she doesn't express herself. She had even said like in her confessional, I will just blow up on you because you left a dirty spoon in the sink, because I have just all these pent up feelings or whatnot. If you're asking her these questions, like she'll get annoyed. Don't keep asking her what's wrong. Like she's just gonna explode at you. Generally speaking, women tend to do that. Our boyfriend will ask like, oh, what's wrong? And we'll be like, nothing's wrong, like we're fine. And then like we just blow at them. My advice is use your words, y'all. Like we cannot do that. Like if something is wrong with us, we have to express that. You know what I'm saying? We can't just assume he's a mind reader and he'll just know what's wrong with us. Like he might know something is wrong because our whole energy shifted, but he's not gonna know what's wrong. And so we have to use our words and express ourselves and let them know what's going on with us. I mean, I'm not gonna get into men express themselves and all that kind of stuff too. I just know as a woman that like we do tend to just be like, oh no, I'm fine, when like we are full down brewing inside. Talk to that man. Oh, and when it comes to the finances, I was watching the Unfiltered show that comes on right after. They asked Jose, like, do you expect Rachel to live the same financial life that you live? Like basically adopt that type of living. And he was just like, no, not at all. If she wants to get my help on this to help her be a better saver and all this stuff, then I'll definitely help her. But like, I don't expect her to live the same way I do when it comes to finances. He also talked about he is ready to travel with her because they were all packing to go to Florida, because like he's ready to see like how she is as a traveler, or like just see how she lives. Like, oh, like seeing me travel, how do I say this? The way I live when I travel is not indicative of how I live in my house. You know, when I traveled places, I'm putting the towels all on the floor in the bathroom. I'm not making my bed. I'm leaving all the lights on when we leave, because I'm just like, this isn't my place. And so like, I'm just a tad bit messier because I can be. Don't judge her off of how she travel lives. You gotta judge her off of how she lives, you know? So yeah, comment below, like when y'all travel, do y'all live a little differently? Like, are you a little messier? Are you neater? Let me know. All right, let's move on to Bao and Johnny. So more packing stories. Bao was packing for the trip, and my girl had a whole spreadsheet, and I loved it because I like a checklist when I'm packing, right? But she had a spreadsheet that was like, here are the tops, here are the bottoms, here are the shoes, here are the dresses. It was amazing. I love that type of organization. I was like, talk about efficiency. Johnny seemed like a good sport about it. Oh, this is funny, this is unique about her, and like, I'll know she really loves me when she gives me her spreadsheet and tells me to pack for her. Like, going back to Rachel and Jose real quick, I noticed Rachel uses packing cubes when she was packing. If y'all don't use packing cubes, get you some. Back to back to Bao and Johnny. So when it comes to packing, how do y'all pack? Because Johnny was saying, okay, I'm gone for 6 days, I'm gonna pack 6 outfits. If I'm gone for 6 days, I'm packing at least 12 outfits. And then of course I need the just in case things for just in case scenarios. Bao was like, oh, I got a yoga mat just in case. I mean, she might do yoga, she might not. Like, I'm packing that kind of stuff. How do y'all pack? Do y'all overpack? Do y'all pack just the right amount? What is your process in your head for like, I'm gone for this many days, so I need to pack this many outfits? Let me know. Later in the episode, Bao and Johnny were like winding down for the night. It's their first night in Florida. I just really enjoy how gentle and tender he is with her. He was just like, if you're ever uncomfortable, let me know. We can slow all this stuff down. You say the word, I'm there, right? But then he immediately pivoted. Well, now let's talk about sex. He was like, what do you like in the bedroom? She was saying how like, I can tell by like how you kiss me that like you're gonna be a good lover. But he was like, oh, I just like regular vanilla sex. Just stick the penis in the vagina. But overall, like, they're my favorite story couple. I don't know if that makes sense, because I want to say my favorite couple is Michaela and Zack, but maybe that's not true. I really like Bao and Johnny. Like, their story is so cute and so serendipitous. The fact that they knew each other beforehand, and apparently they partied together, they worked together in some capacity with their student orgs, and now they're freaking married. And then the crazy thing is, Bao still had the text messages from when they knew each other 10 years ago, and apparently they went on this like friend date / date type thing. And I was just like, girl, why you got text threads from 10 years ago? And Johnny was like, I delete my text threads after a year. And I was like, I delete my text threads when the conversation's over. If I don't talk to you on a regular basis and you text me, once our conversation's done, I'm deleting it. Like, I don't need you filling up my inbox. How often do y'all delete your text threads? Let me know. All right, last is Brett and Ryan. And I ain't gonna lie to y'all, nothing really happened with them. They just had this awkward energy the whole time. And then the producers ain't right, because they kept editing it in a way that made it even more awkward. Like, they wouldn't play music during their conversations. And it's just like, their communication just seems like weird. But then they're both just like, oh yeah, I really like the other person, but it just don't feel like that on the TV, you know? They did have a little experience with Brett flying, so apparently she hates to fly. They didn't show us any footage of how she was acting on the plane, but Ryan was like, if I was just dating this girl and I saw her act like that, I would never speak to her again. So I'm just like, oh, it must have been bad. But yeah, that was the most excitement that we got out of them this episode. I mean, when they met with their families and friends and stuff, they talked about how Brett has to pull Ryan out of his shell. I don't even remember what Brett's family said about her to Ryan, because Brian didn't even have no questions. He was just like, I don't know, I'm just here eating my eggs Benedict. And they were like, well, like, what are your expectations? And he was like, to never have to get married again, maybe? That was them. All right, y'all, that wraps up my review of Married at First Sight, season 13, episode 4. Remember, if you're not already subscribed, which you should be, go ahead and hit that button below and you'll know when I post my next video for the next episode and any other videos that I post on my channel. Thank y'all for watching and I'll see you next time. Bye.